welcome back to another Pulse check. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This might be one of the craziest podcasts we've ever had. I don't think we've ever had this many guests on at one time. But without further ado, let me introduce y'all to each of our guests. Braxton, go ahead and go first, man. Well, you know what? Let me just say everybody. We got Braxton over here. We got my boy Skull. You know what? They're gonna edit this in post. So we got Braxton. Can we get a raise of a hand?
Yo, yo, yo.
There we go. We got Skullface. Can we get a little yo? We got Gary. Gary's been here before. Y'all know Gary.
Yo.
I'm great. And then we got my boy Grandma Lock. We like to call him Grandma Cock.
What's up?
That's the French king, right? That's the French goat right there, right?
Yeah, representing EU and French. Yeah.
I love that, man. Look, bro, I want to try to get more. I love that eBayC brought him in, and I think that's great. I want more EU folks in here as much as possible. Dude, I've never tried a podcast with this many people, and honestly, I don't know if it's gonna work. But if this is good and you guys like this, we might have to get like a 10-person podcast. I don't know. But boys, kind of, I want to go one by one for the three of y'all who are new here and haven't been on the podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, man. And like today, we will be talking about World Series of Warzone. So I want you guys to kind of give us a little take on you guys and who you guys are and stuff. So Braxton, you can go first, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I am Braxton. I'm on Omit. Been playing a Warzone for a long time. Got some decent placings in World Series. I got 7th on LAN last year in Al-Mazrah, and then I got 3rd in Caldera.
Nice. All right, Mr. Skullface. I mean, come on, the solo YOLO goat right here. Talk to us, man.
I'm Skullface, and if you want to know what I've done, just look at the plate and the 100K check on the wall.
There we go, baby.
I love that. Yeah, but for those of y'all who don't know, this guy has arguably the best average placings in World Series Warzones, right? I think it's
I played with Brad and Verdansk 5th, then Caldera 1st, 2nd.
Okay.
Am I missing one?
No,
I don't think that's all.
Yeah, we don't count the duels ones. You know?
Yeah.
And then my boy Gramcock, go ahead, man. Introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, I'm Gromlock. I am French. I'm more of an IGL player on Warzone. Been playing for a couple of years now. I've been doing good in Europe, but now already the year I'm doing okay on the world scene, the world global scene.
I love that, man.
Sir, baby.
And then, Gary, go ahead as like, for those of them who forgot my boy, go ahead and give him a little reintroduction of yourself, Gary.
Reintroduction? I mean, bro, I'm Gary and Rational. I've been grinding, since Verdansk. We did very well back in Verdansk. Good in Caldera, super good in Caldera. Absolute dog shit in Warzone 2. But we're back and better than ever, baby. And we're trying to take back over this year.
I love that, man. I mean, look, boys, let's get into it, man. There's not a lot of topics to discuss, but there's a lot to discuss, if that makes sense. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and kick it off hard. Boys, there has been no announcement for the World Series of Warzone as of today. Last year, April 6th was when they announced World Series of Warzone. How are y'all feeling right now with no announcement? It is now April 21st, and there's been no talks of anything. Hey, shit, there's even been whispers behind the scenes that it isn't happening. What? Talk to me. Anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess J God, talk to me, man. How are you feeling right now? You're muted, by the way.
Muted J God.
I think it's interesting. I think maybe they haven't even determined like the format, right? I think they're probably waiting to see how like engaging World Series like Resurgence would be, because I was talking about it yesterday on stream that like maybe they do like a 3-day style event where the first day essentially would be like the tech stuff that you normally do, and then there would be like probably a meet and greet area. You do something like that where it could be like fan service. Maybe they sell merch for World Series of Warzone, but not for the the players, whatever. And then the second day would be Rebirth or Resurgence, and that would be like a format where maybe there's 10 matches. Then there is a solo YOLO, but the prize pool may be smaller, maybe bigger, whatever. It is what it is. And then the third day would be a full battle royale, big map,
right?
Like we're used to. So it'd be the full experience. So I don't know if maybe that's why they've delayed it, because they wanted to kind of like vibe check if people would even be interested in a World Series of Warzone, or they could just save money and just go, hey, we're going to do big map BR and that's it.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. That's my thoughts though.
about you, Ebates? What have you been feeling with? No. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a little strange because I know even like last year, I think I heard rumors of like you know, the event being in London, what it was going to be, stages and everything. I think I heard rumors in like March, so it's definitely a little concerning. Now that I'm like, okay, I haven't really heard anything. There's no announcement, and I'm like, are we really going to get a World Series? I've been saying this for a couple months though, but I do really think that like they're full sending the Resurgence stuff right now. They're kind of building back up that community, and then they're going to full send the big map stuff next season. So I have a feeling that season 4 is going to be really, really strong, and I think we're going to get a World Series announcement sometime in the next like month. I'd say that's like my prediction. If we don't, I'm going to be a little more concerned, but I think we're good.
Okay. What about you boys, the competitive players? I mean, Brax, you can go first, man.
I mean, I think we definitely are going to get a World Series announcement, and I'm pretty sure you guys have talked about this before, but last year World Series, like you said, was announced in April, and we didn't play the LAN until September. So in between each stages, there was a bunch of downtime, and it really made it like hard to like for everyone to keep track of like when do you guys play again. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing right now, but hopefully we do get a announcement in the next couple weeks or so.
Okay. What about you, Skull?
I would love to play another World Series Warzone on land this year. Hopefully in the US.
Yeah.
So like London was awesome, great time, but I'd love to, bring the boys over in the US, have a good time, play the World Series. And going off of J-God with the Resurgence, what you said, Resurgence, so yellow, then the big map. I would hate a Resurgence.
We're gonna get into this topic, trust me.
But I wouldn't mind, like, I know the 100K solo yellow is like all marketing, one map 100K. I wouldn't mind 5 maps in 20K, like the Optic tournament, for a separate day.
Right.
Because playing one day was just like you played it and it's over. I'm back home.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. So that was, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Gramalok?
Yeah, not gonna lie, we're a bit scared. I'm a bit shaking. I want them to announce it ASAP. I pretty much agree with Ebates. I think they're putting in advance the Resurgence mode, but the big map is gonna come in like season 4. They're gonna announce World Series with Ranked, I hope. And yeah, because we're playing for World Series, clearly that's the only reason we're competing. We are doing every tourney we can. So yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
What about you, Gary?
So honestly, like kind of bouncing off of what Brax said, I do think that after World Series, there was like such a dry period. Like it ended in September, and then the next Warzone 3 or whatever it's called didn't come out till December. So I think there was such a dry period of Warzone that they might be trying to like push it back. And so maybe we'd see like a World Series in like October, or maybe even like, I doubt it would be in like November, but maybe in like October. Towards the ending period of the game. On top of that, COD Champs was announced in July, mid-July this year, which is way later. I think last year was like mid-June. Yep. So I think with that being said, I think that leads to a like deeper World Series announcement, just because they don't want to interfere with like COD Champs.
Makes sense.
It's kind of like my thought process behind that, but it would be really cool to see NA this year. World Series in Warzone. I think obviously all the people from like NA want NA. It's cool to go over to Europe, but I want my family and stuff to be able to come easy, assuming if we make it there, whoever makes it there. It's a lot easier for NA travels, but I know EU thinks the same thing for London, I'm sure. But
yeah, I mean, boys, I guess the question that I'm gonna ask y'all is, do you guys think there is a point, or there is like, is it possible for there not to even be a World Series of Warzone this year? Because obviously, right, let's look at what's coming next year, right? And I don't know if you guys keep up with all the Twitter like leaking accounts and shit, but like obviously word on the street is like, let's just look at facts. Let's not fuck the leaks. Like obviously Treyarch had 15 to 18 months to build Cold War, and then they had 48 months to build Gulf War, whatever the next game is. It's not been officially announced, but everybody knows it's called Gulf War, right? Do you think there's a world where they say, you know what? We're going to put all our marbles into next year, and we're going to put all the prize money from this year into Gulf War because we know that game's going to bang? Or do you guys think it's just like, is there a possibility to you guys that this shit doesn't even happen? Or are you guys like, nah, like you guys think like no matter what it is going to happen, they're just taking a little bit longer?
I mean, I'd say like simply going off like leaks, just because like there is, the title and emblem or calling card or whatever it is in the game for World Series, like that did get leaked. So that's why I'm like, okay, I do heavily think that there'll be a World Series. And with how well it did last year, I just think there's no way.
Right.
Like there's no way that it couldn't be in. But I mean,
I think it'd be a huge miss if they didn't do a World Series this year, especially after the numbers we put up last year, like, or, you know, everything. It's like, there was no, if they set any expectation last year, we blew it out the water. So it's like, why wouldn't they double down and kind of continue that momentum and just make another good World Series this year? I also hope that, like, if we do get a World Series, it's not like half-assed. You know what I mean? Obviously, if they're going to do it, hopefully we get a full LAN and hopefully a 2-day event and everything. But yeah, I think it'd be a huge missed opportunity, especially after the numbers that last year brought up.
Yeah. I mean, shit, man. So let's talk about the elephant in the room here, and this is what I think the majority of the podcast is going to be about today. And I want y'all's honest opinions. I feel like this might be an 8v1 against Ebates right now, but what is y'all's thoughts on Resurgence World Series of Warzone? We saw a quote unquote leak, / whatever. We saw it on Twitter that they added Resurgence ranked customs or whatever. Right?
So it wouldn't be a leak. That's in game, I think.
Yeah. It's in game. There's a lot of things leading to that. We see how they're going right now. We see what they're doing. They gave fucking BR players 2 ladders, and that was the content that we got this season. While Resurgence got Rebirth, Fortune's Key, BR or Rebirth ranked. Like, what are y'all's thoughts? I'm curious to see, like, Braxton, Skull, Graham, all of you guys, the competitive guys in here. What are y'all's thoughts on Resurgence being World Series of Warzone?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
I mean, it's shit's not competitive. It's not competitive. If anyone who even plays like ranked play, like, obviously customs, anything would not play close to ranked play, but those maps are just not designed for anything competitive at all. You should never just be able to just throw your life away in a tournament and just spawn back. It's just not competitive. It's not competitive at all. We need the big map. That's what we need.
Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
So I know you're making the assumption that it would be either or, but I think it's a higher chance of it being both than it just being Resurgence. And I think part of that has to do with the acquisition with Xbox, with the whole CDL stuff that we saw, where they basically refunded all the money the teams have spent. So they clearly don't care about that part, and they see it more as a marketing thing.
Right.
And I think, if anything, they're just going to make it bigger. And Resurgence doesn't make it bigger by itself, and Big Map by itself would be the same as we had last year. So I'm leaning towards it being both. And realistically, they probably wouldn't lower the prize pools. Maybe on the solo YOLO, they'd split it 50K each day type thing.
Maybe.
But realistically, I don't see them changing that. It'll just be more money. And as a competitor, you'd be able to compete in both if you qualified for both.
Yeah, what would that look like, though? Would you have to play with the same team for both game modes, or could you split up your team?
You would just qual with whoever you
just
qual with.
And then you think they would fly out teams
Whoever the
for
fuck
the
that's
big
the-
map and the teams for the
I think
little
so.
map?
Doesn't matter. It's all marketing budget. It's literally write-offs for Activision and Xbox. They don't care.
I can see, like, honestly, I see a world where they don't care how much money they got to spend because now Xbox acquired them, right? Like, but I do feel like I agree with you, J-God, in the sense of, like, I think it's more than likely that they're going to do both than it is that they're going to do one or the other, right? Like, even then, I think it'd be great if they did a World Series of Warzone Resurgence, World Series of Warzone Big Map, and then just go from there, right? Like, have both. And then instead of us having literally only 4 months of an actual season or 4 months of an actual, like for us, right, bro? Like, think about it. We don't have a league. We don't got anything. It's okay. We have 6 to 8 months of actual in season, and then the off season is, let's say, CDL, whatever. That's when they're doing their stuff, right? But I don't know. Yeah, boys, the rest of y'all, talk to me. What are y'all's opinions on Resurgence, World Series of Warzone? Skull, you can go next.
Well, for my team, that would impact a lot because Brad said he would even play if it's on Resurgence. So we would have to find a new third if it's on Resurgence. And for a competitive standpoint, this is my point of view. Like, of course, when the game's going, I'm gonna be trying. I want to win the Resurgence, but like put Big Map and Resurgence next to each other, both winners. I'm taking the Big Map winners more serious than the Resurgence winners.
Right.
Like they won Resurgence. Big Map, like they're more skilled. That's how I view it. Like Big Map is just competitive. Resurgence is like anyone could win.
Okay. All right. My boy's spitting right now. Graham, what about you, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, I think first, I think Resurgence World Series would not play very good on a competitive level. Like we'd have people camping towers and building with mounted guns. You know, people need to know that it's not going to be like the slaying and stuff. It's going to be very ratty. And I think on a side note, World Series about having every country in the world represented, and Resurgence is only like I think 45 players.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Yeah, what was nice last year is that you had in London like a team from every country pretty much. So that would be chalked with Resurgence. 15 teams. I don't think that's enough. You'll be missing like talented teams in the world, you know.
Yeah. So. What about you, Gary? What's kind of? I mean, like you don't really play Resurgence that much, right?
I mean, I don't play too much Resurgence. I've mainly been playing Big Mac, but for like tournaments and stuff, I mean, we've been doing really good in Resurgence. Recently, me and Dongy got first, second, third in the last like Resurgence 2v2s, and then in the past, me and Scumman are like the highest earned Rebirth players. I know not as much like comp back in the day, right? But still, I historically have enjoyed Resurgence a lot, and I think it would be fun if they did something like what Jay got said. Like I think that could be something to let Resurgence players shine, something to let Big Map players shine, and I think ultimately that would be like the best way to go about it. But I would be upset if it was a Resurgence World Series or Warzone only. If it was one or the other, I would much prefer the Big Map. I think any competitive player would prefer that. But ideally, we have a 2, 3, 4 day event. I doubt it'd be that long, but ideally we have like a 2-day event with 2 different things, and it would just be awesome to have even both. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Big Map is 100% the more competitive game mode that I would love to have prioritized. But
right. And now let's talk to Ebates over here, because I know Ebates is he loves Resurgence. So I mean, Ebates, I know he's not going to be biased. He's going to give his honest opinion. Ebates, what kind of your opinion on all this, and kind of like, I know you are quote unquote a Rebirth guy and you love Resurgence and all that stuff. So what's kind of your take on Resurgence being in the World Series of Warzone, and if it was just that, how would you feel?
If it was just a Resurgence tournament, I'd actually be pretty upset. I know, like, I've talked about in the past where, like, I do love Resurgence tournaments. I think there's a place for them, but it should never be the most competitive, like, format for Warzone specifically, because Warzone was built on a BR. It should be a BR for, like, the competitive standpoint, and I think Resurgence kind of takes away from that. Also, I was saying, if it was only Resurgence, like, viewership would be horrible, because last year was great. We had 150 people there. Obviously the big guys were there. Swag was there. Z-Laner was there. A lot of people were there streaming the event. That's why the numbers were up so much. You do 45 people, you're losing on, there's only 30% of viewership right there, like just gone. So, no, I think World Series should only be a Big Map, and I think there's a place for Resurgence tournaments. We've seen it in the past with CDLR and stuff. CDLRs have been great. They've been the viewership and everything, the hype, I feel like in general has just been amazing. And a lot of people got their credit for winning those tournaments or doing well in those tournaments. I know Gary, you won the first one, and Sage and them won the second one, and there was a lot of hype behind that. So I'd like to see CDLR be a tournament that is showcased every year, even if it's just something from home. But I don't think it should be the competitive tournament that we have on LAN. I think it should be focused on Big Map, and I think that's just where the viewership's at.
I mean, okay, look, let me kind of go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
I think you'd have to do it differently. If it's a Resurgence, like 45 players wouldn't be enough. You'd have to invite 3 lobbies worth. It'd be like 135 players, so it'd be like comparable to what we had last year. And then on LAN, the top 15 from NA, top 15 from EU, and then top 15 from the international play would all be thrown into a lobby, and then you'd have the 45 split there. And then you'd have one lobby with. That's how they would have to do it, because how else do you get that many players there? Like, you need people from all the different regions, like Grumalock was talking about. So there has to be that many.
I agree. I mean, that's actually in like one of the topics we're going to talk about. If it is, what would the format look like, right? But before we get into that, I want to just kind of ask you guys and kind of like get y'all's opinions on, like, okay, we see what's going on right now, right? We see them only caring about Resurgence for the last 2 months, right? Like, this is what I think. If there is a World Series of Warzone Resurgence, what's y'all's take on this? Like, okay, we know Resurgence is not at all competitive. Like everybody can agree on that, right? Like I think all of us can all agree that it's not. Resurgence is not competitive, and we're talking about it in ranked. We've talked about it in like 3, 4, 5 different podcasts. It's not competitive, but I understand. If you guys, I can bet my life, bro, that Resurgence numbers are incredibly high right now comparatively to Big Map. Like, I don't think that's I mean, BR sucks right now, by the way. Like, it's like they killed the Big Map. They aren't supporting it. So if they're taking those numbers and they're like, okay, well, like if they love it this much, then we got to make everything Resurgence. We got to full send everything. And I think that that's where they're at right now. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys kind of agree with that take? Like, this is the way that I kind of put it. It's like, yeah, sure, numbers for Resurgence might be high right now, but when it comes to competitive, numbers don't lie either. I obviously, you guys know we do watch parties, and we take analytics of everything, right? And every single Resurgence tournament that we do, every single one does, I don't want to say significantly worse, but far worse than any BR tournament that we host. Maybe, I don't know, that I'm just grabbing my analytics, and I also grab main broadcast, and everything with Resurgence does bad. So sure, if the casual audience loves Resurgence so much, but the competitive audience, which I consider everybody that's watching this and all of us love Big Map competitive so much, like, what do they do there, right? What's their option? If numbers are telling them, yo, casuals love this, but then whenever you host a tournament, bro, viewership is dirt for Resurgence. What happens then?
Yeah, I think let me add on to that. So I think like the problem is that they're pulling numbers based off of like casuals. Like, you know, I think they said the first year World Series, they're like, quads is the most popular game mode on BR. But like, why would we host a quads tournament? It's not going to be good for viewership. It's not going to be because the people that watch tournaments and that play tournaments, like, that's where they have to take their data from. We can't be pulling stuff from like, oh, like, yeah, Resurgence obviously is the most popular game mode, but that doesn't mean it should be casted as a competitive format, right? Like, it should be casted as a casual format to bring up, you know, whatever numbers, bundles, everything else. But then we can also have our competitive mode aside, you know, with whatever is good for viewership as far as, you know, competitiveness, whatever the viewers like as from tournaments, whatever. So the problem is I think they're pulling stuff from, they're just not connected. There's casuals and then there's competitive stuff, right? And if we're saying quads is the most popular, it's not the most popular for tournaments though. You know, Rebirth is most popular. It's not the most popular for tournaments. So I think that's where the split is. It needs to be based off of viewership and also what is competitive. Sorry to cut you off, Skull.
Yeah, Skull, go ahead.
Yeah. The casuals don't even know when tournaments are happening or what the tournaments are.
Right.
Like, so whenever I watch Shifty and 2v2s playing these 2v2s, people are typing in game chat that Shifty is cheating. Shifty is in a billboard in the game, won the World Series on LAN, and people still think he's cheating because these players, they probably never even heard what the World Series of Warzone even is.
Yeah.
So they don't even know what's happening. So that's my.
Yeah, and part of that I think has to do with the fact that there's nothing really in game that we've talked about with like cash cups. I know Hector's huge proponent of cash cups because it just gives some awareness to somebody to try something. I think ranked has definitely gotten people a little bit more like their foot in the sand to like, you know, they dip their toe in to kind of find out what competitive is. And, you know, they get hard stuck at whatever number they get stuck at, but then they realize like, oh, okay, shit's kind of crazy, you know? So I don't know. You're right though. That does happen. And then people don't know what the hell's going on with tournaments. It is unfortunate though. We haven't had any like Fortune's Keep customs, trios for actually a lot of money. So people take it serious to get a real vibe check on like, oh, okay, this shit would be gas, or because we're just making assumptions, right? Like we don't really know. Yeah. We would assume that it wouldn't be as good, but it could be gas. Like imagine it could be, but we'll never know because like private matches will be broken half the time. We didn't even have the options to select certain matches. And then when they do run a tourney, they're doing them, you know, some, you know, I'm not going to say the name of the tourney, but they're doing something else with $100,000 that they could be doing and making some pretty serious competitive tourneys with. But that's an aside.
We love Duck Hunt.
I didn't say that.
Anyways, well, I mean, look, like, I guess, okay, let's now hypothetically say World Series of Warzone Resurgence is a thing, right? How do you format that? what is the rule set? Because, you know, for all we know, sure, like, okay, let's play devil's advocate here, and let's say Activision is thinking far ahead of us, and they're like, yo, if the numbers don't lie, like all these people, let's just say it's 1 million, I'm obviously just throwing out random numbers, 1 million player count for Resurgence and 100K comparatively to BR, right? Now, if that is what it is, maybe it's just the rule set that makes it unentertaining. Because obviously we all played Call of Duty multiplayer growing up, and there's a reason why that died out and why Warzone numbers are significantly higher, right? So what format do you guys think could be a Resurgence actual good format to where it actually matters? Like, where things actually matter. So, like, talk to me. Have you guys thought about this question? I feel like not a lot of people have, but like I have. But what could make Resurgence entertaining from a competitive standpoint?
Well, okay, I'll start it off. I think you have to value kills way more than placement. Kills have to literally be not the only thing that's important, but the majority. Which is cool, but like I said, like Braxton was saying earlier, you don't have to value your life. You can just keep landing, and it just seems a little repetitive. So, but I feel like, yeah, kills have to be the most important thing. So multipliers probably would be way less. You can't do a match point format. You know, winning the game in Resurgence, it's like it just has no like value. You know what I mean? Kills are the only important thing that really should be valued in Resurgence, in my opinion.
I have something to add, but go ahead, boys. If anybody else has any like suggestions.
Right. So like right now, what the customs are playing for Resurgence when we do them, there is a multiplier, but the multiplier is a lot less. And you can win off sheer kills, but at the end of the day, like if you're not winning games or getting high placements, you're not going to win the tournament. But it just promotes such unfun gameplay when you have to play like that. Like you have to push out a certain spots that if you like, you know, like if I give up this rooftop, we're not going to win the game, but I'll get these kills. It just creates a ratty environment. If you watch a Vondel Customs, everyone is sitting on a rooftop just waiting to shoot people out of the sky whenever they spawn in. No one's moving, because if you move and you give up your spot, you're not going to get kills, and you're just going to be in a constant regain cycle. And anyone who is watching that doesn't want to watch their streamer try to land on loot over and over and over again, and just try to get some amount of kills. It just becomes such an unfun experience.
Yeah, I mean, like anybody else, if anybody else doesn't, it's cool. Gary? Oh, okay.
Now's your guys' time to speak up, man. Now is your time to speak up.
I'm still thinking. I feel like
everything's been covered that like I've kind of thought in the same way. I mean, it's just like the whole aspect of no value to your life, and everyone does play a little ratty. I mean, some of the top teams will play a little more aggressive or die early or whatever, but it's still, regardless, you'll see the same gameplay around everyone. Someone's going to randomly drop a 30 kill game, no matter who it is, and I don't know. It's just not super entertaining to watch.
I mean, go ahead.
My bad. No. Since everyone's saying like lives are not valuable, let's just thought like, should you lose points if you die more, if somehow they can do that?
Like adding a death in Resurgence, I just feel like it also takes away from the whole Resurgence idea. Like, I think it's like trying to make a mode that's not competitive. Competitive is like probably the worst thing you could do. It's like now where it's like, you know, the great thing about Resurgence we all talk about is like you come back to life. There's no pressure. You know, we tell the bots, go play Resurgence, don't stack and have fun. If you die, you come back. And then it's like if we set up a tournament where it's like if you die, you lose points. It's like that's just like that's insane. Now we're just playing the game in such a different way. I think we've all covered it though. I mean, I think everyone agrees. It's like Resurgence, you know, there's a place for tournaments. It's good for marketing, whatever, but probably not at the highest level. Cause I mean, we all know those World Series of Warzone lobbies are so different than anything else you'll ever play. And just imagine a Resurgence one. It's going to look like a shit show.
I mean, look, bro, like I think the biggest takeaway from this, and I hope you guys, agree with this, is like Call of Duty does this thing where they never know how to kind of split their audience. They kind of just full send one or full send the other. I mean, look at last year. They full send fucking DMZ, Warzone 2 was shit. Right? Like now this year, I feel like they've done a pretty good balance, but they're full sending Resurgence and Big Map is shit, right? Like they need to find what like the best of both worlds. And I'm gonna take something that Lucky said, and it's true. It's like Resurgence is meant to be a playground. It's meant to just go and troll and just have fun and just like you want to shoot your gun brainlessly, like just like go and just shoot. Like that's what it's for. It's a playground, right? It's not competitive. It's not like, you know, like, and again, I'm gonna be honest, Lucky, don't get mad, but all the people that were gassing up Resurgence rank play don't play it, bro. Like Lucky, fucking Capture, Nixta, fucking all these guys, even Ebates. Nobody.
Joe, bro.
Joe,
We played the
Joe.
first day.
Joe.
And that was it, bro.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying, like, boys, like, come on, like, they're gassing up something that they don't even play, but I get it. Like, they want Resurgence to thrive, and that completely makes sense. But like, it doesn't. It shouldn't. You shouldn't take away one for the other. You know, like that's my biggest takeaway.
What I would say though, to add to that, is, on top of what you're saying, is that I don't think it's bad. I think there's many versions of rank that we could have had. It's just the big map would have been better.
Yeah,
Agreed.
100%.
Because there's a lot of formats that could have been fucking terrible.
What else could we have had? What else could we have had, bro?
It plays surprisingly well. People get hard stuck at specific SRs, and that's perfectly fine. I think the system, in a lot of ways, is better than what we had last year. But if they took a current system and modified it slightly to make it for the big map, I think we'd have an awesome one. I still wouldn't play it because I don't care about rank. But
I agree with that, J-Gun. I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I think the problem that everyone's having right now is like we're in such a questionable like time where we're like, yo, what the heck is going on? Because I do agree that ranked Resurgence is kind of formatted a little bit better than big map ranked like last year. There's no taps anymore. It feels like they're kind of creating a good rank system, and if they could implement that into season 4 with a big map ranked W, but we haven't heard anything about that. So I think there's just been 2 or 3 months here where everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And we have no idea.
The other part to add to that too is the biggest part that's ruining the game at the moment is the meta. Like, what the hell? How do we have the same guns? Like, it's so damn stale. Like, I actually want to play Rebirth regularly, and I like the map. Beyond nostalgia, and it's just like, well, let me just go buy the HRM. Like, what the what are we doing? And it pisses, like, it's more annoying the fact that they made a statement saying that we don't want this to be that way, and it's still happening.
It's still the same exact way.
Like, who the hell's cock blocking the meta changes, bro? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, look, I want to ask Gramlock you something, right? And we saw, and I saw Scumman said it in the chat, and going back to the conversation we were talking about, like placement points and kills and all that stuff, for something like Resurgence, where like quote unquote placement doesn't matter. Do you then, Gramlock, do you think it's better to put more reliant on placement points as opposed to kills, so that way you can kind of try to make it competitive, or do you just full send kill multipliers and make placement not matter at all?
No, I think you'd have to adjust the system we have right now for big map, but there is no way we don't value placement in gameplay, because as a player, that would be no dope. Like, you win a game, you don't feel anything, and as for the viewers, I think that would not be good too. Like, they wouldn't be hyped by a win or W or stuff like that. So you'd have to put the win somewhere. I'd say maybe 1.5 for the win, and you go down from this, you know. But I think it's a BR. I mean, it's Resurgence, but you should have to value the placement for sure.
Yeah.
In the tourney.
Oh, okay. I know you said, and I had an idea. I know you guys said match point wouldn't work. Or, well, you know what? Let me ask you guys. Gary, do you think match point could work in Resurgence?
It's an interesting idea, but I mean, like, dude, again, I feel like the main point of Resurgence is just to like run around and try to get kills, right? Like, I don't think Resurgence is. I mean, we've said it's not competitive over and over again, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like playing slow for the like win and Resurgence isn't how the game's meant to be played. Like, winning a game of Resurgence with less than 10 kills would be crazy, right? I don't know. I just feel like match point would play out weird, but then again, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. You know what a cool match point for Rebirth would be whoever, like, let's say you hit a certain match threshold, like 100 points, let's say, and then you have to get the most kills in the lobby. That's how you win the tournament.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that actually.
You can't do a game mode where you win the game. I'm telling you, Resurgence is like, it's just, oh man, playing for the win.
That would actually be insane, because you wouldn't even know who's at the top of the lobby.
Because you could have teams like, yo, we got to get fucking kills, boys. Like, send everything.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea.
So I had this. I'm glad you said that, Ebits. like, bro, I'm glad you said that because like I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, how do you make it to where that same feeling of match point of like being like super, you know, like you have to win and everybody, you get those crazy end games, right? And how do you do that in Resurgence if it has to be something and if it's match point? And you know, I was thinking about it long and I was like, bro, what if there was, you have to get a certain amount of kills to win the game? Like something that is almost not unattainable, but like you gotta have a fucking insane game to hit that. Because then once 2 to 3 teams, 4 teams get to match point, it's like, all right, bro, everybody's sending. Now it's like you're watching of who has how many points. You're tallying up, like, right, obviously that'd be the production side of things, like making sure you know how many kills everybody has, and then just like see who can get there the fastest. I mean, I don't know, Skull, what do you think about that? Or is that, you think that's kind of like chalked?
It actually sounds like a pretty good idea. 100%. Most kills.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Would you guys have it to be like a certain set amount of kills? Let's say, for example, I'm just gonna throw a random number out, like 40, 30, something like that.
That would never happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How often have you seen
30,
Like
whatever.
you see 30 kills in a custom once.
That's
maybe
crazy.
once the entire
Yeah.
time.
All right, 25.
If that.
Okay. Would you
I think
rather?
what I said would
No,
probably
it
be
would
the
just
best.
have to
It's
be
like,
the most.
Yeah, whoever, like,
Yeah.
if you,
Yeah,
like, let's
most,
say you hit
yeah.
match point, then you have to now get the most kills in that lobby. Like, whoever, like, if you hit match point, now you have to get the most kills possible. So, like,
Okay.
if, like, Shifty and them get match point, then they drop, like, 30 kills, and the second place team had, like, 28, they would win the tournament because they had the most kills in that lobby.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so I was thinking about it like you have to hit a certain like number. So that way, like the audience is like, okay, they have 20, they need 5 more, and like, but then this might be better because then you never fucking know. But then,
Right.
is that bad?
It would
from
also
a
force
viewer?
it would also force other teams to be like, yo, like, we can't let them fry this lobby. We have to get more kills so that the tourney goes on, kind of thing. So it would, once somebody hit match point, it would speed up everybody, I think.
I would actually like to see that be played because I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be what makes Resurgence tournaments fun again. Like, again, I'm all for the quote unquote casual audience, right? Like, and for what's going to bring in more viewership, because I've already said this before, and I think you guys are all, the competitors are all on the same page. If there's not viewership, who cares if BR is the most competitive? If it's not bringing in viewership, then fuck it. We get rid of BR because we want longevity in this. We want to be able to be here 10 years from now, having a full-on league like Apex, right?
Yep.
That's what the goal is one day. But sadly, it's not like that. Resurgence does horrible for viewership and BR does better. As of right now, who's to say that if you do a Rebirth tournament that it doesn't do better? I don't know, right? We don't know. But we had, call it, or Warzone had the most viewership out of any LAN last year ever. Right? So out of all last year, not ever, but so I mean, it goes to show, why would they change anything if there's stats to prove it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm still standing by. I'm standing by. We're not getting a Resurgence World Series Warzone this year. Like, I think I've said this. I think season 4 is going to be huge. I think we're going to get a ranked mode. I think they're going to do 120 players, and I think we're going to get a World Series Warzone announcement. I've said this for like a couple months. I know we've been on the pod a few times. There is no way we get a World Series of Warzone Resurgence. I just don't believe it. I simply don't believe it.
Okay. So now
I agree.
let's transition to BR World Series of Warzone. This is a conversation that I think you guys can all get into. What would you guys change from last year to this year, from BR Resurgence or BR World Series of Warzone, anything, whether it be format, kill multipliers, bans, anything at all? What would you guys change from last year to this year, and how does the scene push forward, and how does it advance from last year?
Yeah. I was on a 9-hour flight to play 6 maps. That's insane. Like, there's no way we only play 6 maps. And we let up for 4 or 5 months and we played 6 maps. I think we gotta add more maps. Most definitely. But I think the tourney played great last year. It was a lot of fun. Everyone enjoyed it. Most people that didn't even watch Warzone watched the tournament and said they enjoyed it too. But I just think we gotta add more maps. I think the format was good. I would obviously like more players, but I don't think that's going to happen. But number one important, add more maps for sure.
All right. What about you, Skull?
I remember, I think it was an E-Arena tournament, 75K, I believe, when they had 2 days of competition, 6 maps one day, 6 maps the other day. So maybe they can do that to stretch out the gameplay. Because even if you did terrible on the first day, I'm assuming it's gonna be top 25 getting paid again. So
Yeah.
you still can make money even if you did terrible the first day. Because someone else could, slip up second day.
I mean, look, I don't know if you guys have seen Apex, bro, and the way they do shit. Bro, they have 4 fucking days of a LAN. Their LAN is like 4 days long, and it goes like, it's like, I think they invite double the pool of players, and they
So sick.
they invite. So then there's like A, B, C, and D, and then they have A versus B, C versus D, and then etc. A versus C, B versus D, and they do that across. But bro, they literally play for like 10 hours a day.
Or more. I
Or
think,
more,
Yeah.
or
It's
more.
a lot.
So like, and that gets fucking viewership. So like, I know some people in the chat like, oh, 6 games is too long, or like, but bro, like, people want more games. Like, we dead ass flew for 5 hours, like five hours of a tournament, 6 hours of a tournament. We flew.
It took us longer to set up the equipment, Hector.
Yeah, I mean, so like, what would you think about that? Like, what is Apex? How many players is that? Is it 66?
It's 60, I think.
60?
60.
Obviously, they're able to do that, right?
Still like 200 players.
Yeah. Would that be something that you guys would like to see? Like, is that worth it? A 4-day event?
100%.
100%.
I would love to play more.
That'd be
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
I think everybody would love that.
Oh, bro. Okay, so okay, Gramlock, what do you think you would change out of everything? Like,
So
from last year?
last year I think last year was great. The only thing, so the format was cool. I think the placement point and stuff, it was nice. The one we had last year. The only thing I would change, maybe, but I don't think it's realistic. But the bans and stuff, the rule set you try to implement this year, I think that'd be great. But remember, last year we were playing signals, thermal signals, flares. That was insane. Like, yeah, it's not a good memory, the gameplay, but the whole event was crazy. So yeah, I'm praying for more competitive bans, and that'd be more enjoyable for players and I think for viewers too.
Okay, all right. What about you, Gary?
I mean, yeah, I think there just needs to be. I definitely think we'd have to re-go over like the balancing, like kind of like the podcast that we did. There's so much stuff, especially in like there was like the smaller custom tourney of the day, and there was so much stuff that like little things that bothered me. I'm like, bro. I mean, yeah, obviously flares, redeploy packs, gulag tokens, like I think all those should be banned. But one thing that was crazy today is like smokes is the only thing that you can really move around the map with. Motherfuckers, sorry. People are using Combat Scout now. Like a lot of people are using Combat Scout. Like, how is that allowed? That is like so broken, bro.
Cold-blooded counters combat scouts. Why don't you choose cold-blooded?
Real.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
This guy's a competitor.
Everyone started using Combat Scout.
I'm just a podcaster, and I know more about you. Oh man, come on, bro.
I mean, regardless, like stuff like that's broken. Like I don't know.
They're on cold-blooded, brother.
Yeah, I
True.
mean, I will say we are going to do a podcast very soon once something gets announced or once even custom tournaments come back, because there needs to be a rule set that everybody knows. And like, I don't want to say my opinions changed last year. There was so much shit that was broken that I think, a lot of stuff needed to be changed. Even at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of stuff that was broken that I feel like needed to be changed. I've kind of changed my opinion on bans, and I think we try to leave as much stuff in as possible, and you only take out what's absolutely fucking broken. For example, last year, Signal. Like,
Yeah, it would have been so easy.
Take
It would
that
have
shit
been
out.
so easy.
I mean, there was 100 signals on land.
But there was
probably
nothing
100
that would
ways
work
and
that way
signals.
now, right? Like in the current game in ranked, there's nothing like that,
yeah,
correct?
like right now, I don't know if there's anything right now that's like incredibly broken that you would be like, okay, let me take that shit out. Is there anything?
Nah, it's been pretty good. Like I think I've said this last time, but the 5 things are like cluster mines, bird's eye, flares, and snipers, like one-shot snipers. And then I might be missing something. Oh, thermals. I think that's literally it.
Almost, yeah.
It would just be certain thermals, right? Because I want there to be a way to you can see through a smoke, but then also have cold-blooded counter it. Like there needs to be counters.
I mean, at least in the 50K, the
Remove
subliners
the
one.
backpacks and we'll be fine.
Even if you're using cold-blooded,
Yeah.
even if you're using cold-blooded, most of the thermals kind of go through it because it's not like usually I think with if you don't have cold-blooded on, you're like a full white figure, but if you're using cold-blooded, you're like a darker gray. It's like it doesn't really. Yeah, so I think all thermals just shouldn't be in ranked at all.
Okay, so Jay God said this last podcast, and I thought it was the most big brain shit I've ever heard. And I don't know why nobody thought of this, boys, what do y'all think of a no backpack tournament? No
Love
backpack
it.
custom, where you're only
Love it.
allowed plates. Only allowed plates.
Yeah, I love it. I always bring that up to my chat because I watched the podcast. Because I think day one of the qualifier, we had the finals today. We like end zone. I got knocked 6 nades on top of the rooftop. It's like I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Like 6 nades. It's crazy. But if we take out backpacks, then we actually got to be more smart, like what we're taking. I can't have 2 UAVs and an airstrike. So you have to be more smart about your like everything.
Yeah, the
It's just
armor
ridiculous.
boxes,
Yeah.
especially now that they nerfed
Armor.
them. The munitions, the like everything. You'd only have the one spot.
Yeah, now it's just carry a trophy system, munition box, airstrike, and UAV. It's like you have 4 huge things only on one player.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't fully disagree, but I mean, having a backpack, you have a 6 replacement. I think you have to make choices. You know, it's part. I don't know. I feel like it's part of the game. You know, the way we play it. You're picking airstrikes, or you're picking nades, or picking smokes. It had something. I don't know. I like it, but
okay. I mean, I think none of us know.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, none of us
When
know
you
how it would play
get
out.
6 naded.
What about you, Brax?
Yeah, I just don't think that would like ever happen on like a World Series standpoint, but I definitely think we could test that and play tourneys like that. I definitely think it would play a lot better. I mean, there's been sometimes I look at my backpack and I'm like, how in the world did I get 8 smokes here? I was just like, I don't even know there's 8 smokes in my backpack. I'm like, okay, yeah, we could just rotate over here. Nothing matters. Or like, I mean, yeah, if you get knocked in a tourney, you're getting 6 grenades thrown at you at a minimum.
Well,
so go ahead, Jacob.
Also, from watching, I think the timing ends up would be different too. Because when you have 8, you're not like afraid to use your smokes too early or too late. Like, so choosing your like the player's knowledge of the game time situation of what is the right appropriate time to use my smokes is totally different when you have 8 versus 2 or 24 versus 6 because you're in a
Right.
trio.
Right.
You know, it's I think the decisions you'd have to make are way harder because you're like, oh, we'll just smoke now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know. If we do it too now, it's too early. We're going to be visible. Like, you'd have to know down the rotation, how fast the zone's pulling to, like, the T,
Right.
where you need to be.
100%. And I do. And the thing is, like, you can have all those smokes too, and then you just throw a muni box and get more because
Right.
the backpack allows you to. But I definitely think it would be a way higher skill gap if we played without the ability to have that many smokes. But like I said, I don't think it would ever happen. Like, we play World Series and we can't use anything in our backpack besides plates.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it would be really cool to play like
yeah,
that.
I don't see that actually happening either in
Really?
ranked or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, think about it. Like again, the whole like right now, I feel like the game is pretty well balanced in the sense that there's not anything incredibly broken. We saw the no ban tournament that was what was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I thought it played out great. I thought it played out really well. But again, it has to be when the state of the game is good. Because when the state of the game is bad, for example, last year, no bans is crazy. It all depends on how the state of the game is at the time of the tournament. And if there's anything incredibly broken, you take that out. And if there's stuff that's like, okay, it's kind of broken, but like it's not like, oh my god, insane, then leave it in. Like leave it in. And like I like for example, Sage is really good at using his utility and trying different things and just, you know, random shit. And I love watching him making plays with random shit that I never would have thought about, you know. But Gary, talk to me, man. What do you think about no backpack?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, no backpack almost brings us back to like kind of like Warzone 1, which I think Warzone 1, I mean, there was obviously a lot of flaws and stuff, but I love Warzone 1 competitive, like Caldera, Verdansk, whatever it was. I mean, a million PAs, million mortars, like you can have one person that has 8 smokes, one person that has 3 mortars, one person has 3 PAs. Not that that's how you'd run it, but you know, it's just like nonstop. Like if you use your nades there, you have 1 mini box to get them back. It's not, oh, you have 4 nades in your backpack and a muni box and 2 more muni boxes. It just kind of like, I don't know, like Jacob said, for example, you have to utilize your smokes in the right position. Like if you only have a certain amount of smokes, you don't have infinite amount. Like your whole teammate, all of your team can hold multiple muni boxes, multiple smokes, and just like it's crazy. You can just spam nades, spam smokes. I don't know. I think it could play out really good. but like the boys said, like I just don't think it could ever happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Activision would ever be like, oh yeah, let's do that. And on top of that, I have a question. So would that mean like everybody just holds 18 plates?
Yeah. No, you can only put plates in your backpack, and
Okay.
everything else you wouldn't like. If you have it there, obviously it's. Let's say we try the tournament, it's going to be hard to get used to not putting anything in it. So if you see something, you just drop it that you accidentally picked up or whatever. But it would just be just plates.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, next year, hopefully they take out backpacks. That'd be sick. Because I think that's such a Warzone 2 thing, and it probably just is taking them a year to like get rid of it, kind of thing.
Right. Now, when it comes to the format, boys, this is more of like an actual, like I guess, niche question. Is stage 1, stage 2, like the way they did everything? Would you guys change that at all, or would you guys leave it as stage 1 qualifiers, stage 1 finals, stage 2 qualifiers, stage 2 finals? Is there another way to do that better, or do you guys like that?
I think there's got to be a reward for winning stage 1 finals.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
you win. I mean, what'd you get in stage 1, Gary? I'm really not trying to be a.
We got third in stage 1, but yeah, we didn't qual.
Exactly. That's insane. There's no way that should be a thing. If
Yeah.
you're placing that high in a stage and you're just not at the LAN, that's dumb.
I think the problem with stage 1 and stage 2 last year was that because they were so split, we literally played one-shot snipers in stage 1, and then stage 2 there was no one-shot snipers, but it was like and then I think LCQ there was signal 50s. Like we played 3 stages that were so different from each other, and then we played LAN, and I think it was a whole another story, like different game.
Right.
I think they added Bird's Eye like mid, or they added the comms.
Yeah.
They added
They
the
did.
comms vest in between stages, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, what is going on? Like
and
this is
we were all talking
insane.
about.
Like yeah, whenever they do like the stages, they need to all be the same. Like there just needs to be. I mean, you could maybe change the meta a little bit if it's like an AR or sub, but like we can't be having like these game-changing things happen in between tourneys.
Would you guys change the amount of stages? Like, because in my opinion, and maybe this might be better this year, because that's quote unquote less time, right? Less downtime. But I really did hate seeing only 2 stages, and there was so much downtime in between each, and it was like months before you had fucking a tournament.
Well,
Mhm.
part of that would be solved if they did the Resurgence and VR,
Right.
because then you'd have essentially double. And instead of paying out as much money on the stage 1 and stage 2 finals, you would pay out significantly less, and the players that place, they would get extra points, 10 points for first or whatever, something, so that when you go into the actual next stage, you'd be more likely to qual for because you had more consistency over the 2 stages or whatever.
Okay, so like, so would you right now? Would you leave it at 2? Let's say we're quote unquote late, right? Would you still leave it at 2 stages, or would you go 3, or would you even make the stages be a little bit different, like quarterfinals, semifinals, finals? Because all I'm saying is like, bro, if we only have one big tournament a year, our quote unquote Super Bowl, and that shit's only 2 events technically, like or 3 events, I guess, stage 1 finals, stage 2 finals, and then LAN, I guess quarterfinals get added to that. Like it kind of makes it anticlimactic. How do you get more bang for your buck as a viewer? How do you watch? How do you make more COD?
With Resurgence
Shit.
on top of it. So you'd have a total of 4 stages, 2 for big map, 2 for little, and then you'd have all the quals leading up to it. So we'd have like a total of, I don't know, like 30 different like days of matches.
He said, "Yes, sir."
Oh,
He just
he's
like
glazing the whole time.
he's sitting in the shadows, man, and then he hears the Resurgence. He comes up. He's like typing instantly.
My man isn't
Yeah,
even
I
hearing
don't-
what we're saying sometimes, bro.
I don't even think anyone would hate that. Like people don't hate the fact that Resurgence might be World Series. They hate the fact that it might not be Big Map too.
Right, I agree.
If it was both,
Place.
everyone would be like, "Oh my god!" Like
That'd
we're
be
back.
better.
100%.
The best thing.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we did that, yeah, you could do 4 stages, 2 of each, 100%.
I think yeah, I
that'd
agree,
be
Brad.
best.
I think we're so far
that's
over
smart.
here. We're so far over here right now. Like, let's say this is ranked Resurgence, and we want it to be like we have to like extend like our like we want it here, but in reality, like we could be here and people would probably be happy. But like, I mean, yeah, I agree because like people just don't want only ranked Resurgence, so I get it.
Right.
How would you guys do it? Would you guys have it? I guess 3 different options. Would you have Resurgence? Let's just call it CDLR for for just make it easy. Would you have CDLR then World Series of Warzone, or would you have CDLR and they overlap with World Series of Warzone, all right, or like the same time, or even both, like 2 at the same time? Or would you have World Series of Warzone, then after World Series of Warzone ends, CDLL starts like at the end of the year? How would you guys want that to play out?
Well, I got a question. So, can you just pick one? Like, if I want to play the World Series, can I not participate in the Rebirth one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it wouldn't be participation; it'd be quality.
Or like qualing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can I qual?
You would
though?
still have to qual for both if you wanted.
He's
Of
saying
course
like,
I will. Of course
he's
I will
saying,
qual.
he's saying if he,
Yeah.
if he didn't want to play the Resurgence one and he just wanted to play BR, would they be 2 separate entities? Which they should never combine the 2.
Yeah. You would just qual for the one that you're playing in.
Well, no. I mean, like, you have to pick one or the other. Like, if I you can't pick. Like, so all the research.
If you qual for both,
all the
you play
Rebirth
for both.
players.
Yeah.
Like, all the Rebirth players would play. Like, of course, they're gonna pick Resurgence over the big map.
He's saying if they did like 2 World Series of Warzone, let's say, and they wanted it separate players in each, and you had to pick one. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
But no,
that
I
would
think
be the
best-
dumbest thing they've ever
The
done.
best thing
That
they
would
could
be
do,
dumb, yeah.
the best thing they could do is just make it so you could qual for both.
Because all the best players would be on big map.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I
because
think they'd be
You would still have to qual for both, but your team would obviously be different because, like you said, you wouldn't have Breadman if you went for Rebirth and big map. You know what I mean? You'd be playing both.
Yeah, the thing is, like that's what Jigat said, is like the best players would be on big map, and then Resurgence competitive would have way less credibility, even as it is now, because they'd be like, oh, you won,
Yeah, it'd
you
be
won the
terrible.
Resurgence. What's his Warzone? Who cares, bro? Like Diaz, Shifty, and all them didn't play in it. Like
The funny thing is,
know
is
what I'm
like,
saying?
if they did both, let's say at the same event, I don't even think they'd have to fly out more people. It'd probably be the same people in both, honestly. Like, it would be hilarious, actually.
Would you want it to be at the same time though? Like, would you guys want to see that? Or I would
mean,
want 2 separate. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I think
it needs
I
to
would
be
want
separate.
World Series first, and then CDLR like we did in Caldera with Fortune's Keep. I think when they announced CDLR right
That was
after, everyone was like hype. I'm like, oh my god, we got another big tourney. Let's go. Now everyone is in their Resurgence mindset, and I think that's why you split it. So you focus on everyone can have their big map mindset, what they need to do for big map. Then right after, you announce another event and do it Resurgence way.
Exactly.
I agree with that. I mean, honestly, I'm the opposite. I think I would like to see like Resurgence first. Like Resurgence first, have like CDLR at I don't say beginning of the year, but let's say like right now, like it'd be right now, like April, June. I don't know how long it would last. I would hope it'd be a lot of, for me, just any type of competition is great. So let's just say April, May, June, right, is CDLR or Resurgence, what's his Warzone, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then July, August, September is VR, what's his Warzone. Then October, November is the new game. And then it just cycles through.
That'd be fire.
I think
that
that
would
would
be
be the best of both worlds, in my opinion. It would be like a cycle, because we've seen it last year and we've seen it this year. At the beginning of the year when Warzone drops, their kind of goal is Resurgence. Last year, like it was like, I think it was season 2.5 or season 2. They dropped Ashika and they dropped Resurgence back, and that you could tell that was the kind of their goal or their focus for that start of the year, right? And then as it continued, then it turned into BR, which I hope that's what happens this year. Do you guys
Season
think
4.
you guys
Season
think
4.
there's gonna be big map ranked?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I hope.
100%.
There's no way they don't. No
Okay.
way.
I mean, I looked through the like leaderboard on the Warzone ranked website, and I was looking at some of the names of like the people of the competitive players, and it shows on the website the last time they played ranked, and it's saying like 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. And I feel like in Al Mazrah, when people were playing big map ranked, that was the only reason they were playing the game. I don't think people were playing like the competitive players. If they got on, they were either playing big map ranked or attorney, or they didn't want to play the game. I mean, I remember that time period. Everyone, there was like the season that they dropped like right before World Series. People were quitting the game. Aiden literally said, "I'm done with Warzone." He didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
And then they added World Series and big map ranked, and everyone was grinding again.
So what
I
if
think we'll get big map.
what happens if like that isn't a thing? Right? Like would you guys be surprised if they just said fuck it, no, like research, like, because you have to think about it like this, bro. Like they're thinking about numbers, right? And fuck Fortune's Keep. Let's look at Rebirth. I would only assume that Rebirth ranked numbers are insane right now with Rebirth coming back, and like we know Resurgence numbers are crazy. Like they're probably comparing. Bro, I promise you, they're comparing BR ranked last year and comparing the numbers to this year, and I don't think it's close. I think even though how bad it is and how dog shit Rebirth ranked is right now, they're looking at the numbers and I'm pretty sure it's higher for Rebirth ranked now than last year. And what if they say, you know what? Rebirth ranked or Resurgence ranked is just doing far better, even though it's a dead game last year, nobody was playing it, and they just continue to do it. Like, you guys think that could happen?
The thing is, it was Warzone 2. Like, I feel like it's not a fair comparison.
I
And
agree.
like maybe they might not
shit.
realize that, but like no one liked that game. I mean, like it was awful. The game was terrible. It's be not so harsh. The game sucked.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like they would at least have to try it. Like they don't know until they can compare it to this game. I think comparing this current game with like what if I compare Verdansk numbers to Rebirth right now? Like it doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying. I agree that even if they did it right now, right? Even right now, if they did BR ranked, I don't think BR ranked would get as much numbers as Rebirth ranked. Even if it's far better, I don't think it will, because the map sucks. And we'll talk about the 100 player right now, but like I don't think it will. But now you give us Verdansk ranked next year. I will put this now.
Yeah.
Verdansk ranked will kill Rebirth ranked numbers by a mile. I maybe I'm delirious for saying that, but I 100% think Verdansk ranked will fucking go crazy. But right now, if you do Urzikstan ranked over Rebirth ranked, it's chalked. It's chalked. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I think they would have to release Verdansk ranked at the same time that they released Verdansk pubs, like how they did with Rebirth. Otherwise, I think maybe later in time, like it might not be as interesting because I like Verdansk was an awesome time period, great map, whatever. But like I think people would get old of it, like or tired of it really quick. Still,
Right. Same way. It's the same thing. Like Rebirth, it's gonna be the same way. They're gonna get tired of it. Same way how people are gonna get tired of Verdansk. It is what it is. Like again, that's why it's kind of hard to like pinpoint what do you make ranked right now, because if Rebirth ranked is doing good numbers, then like what do you do? Is it worth it to them to drop their player count just to satisfy the 1%? And I'm not just trying to play devil's advocate here. I want BR fucking ranked. I'm not even playing Resurgence ranked anymore. I gave up. That shit's boring. You know? So like, I don't know. That's kind of my opinion on that. But now player count, boys, not pubs or competitive. What do you guys think about 100 player count customs? We've had like 3 customs. I mean, people have been playing a lot of the customs right now. There's been like a couple $1,000, $2,000 ones. What do you guys think about competitive player count? Not pubs, competitive.
I mean, I actually don't think that 100 players is too bad for
It's
customs. Yeah,
Customs.
I don't think it's too bad for customs. I think, pubs is a different story. But, I mean, max 120. I'm curious how that would play. I guess we don't really know. We need to find out. But I don't think 100 is too bad because you kind of have some room to regain. Everyone has their own landing spots. It's not like super contested. I don't think it runs too bad, honestly.
Yeah, I would like 120, but I also will say this. We haven't played a full customs besides the big ones because these tourneys that fill up, teams will just leave and then we end up playing with 70 people. So I don't think we've really got a good sample size for full lobby customs. Like we don't really know like with everyone in the tourneys that are actually trying to be competitive, trying to win. I don't think we've played many of those, but I definitely think 100 is a good spot for customs right now.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I definitely think that 100, in my opinion, from what I saw, it's not too campy and it's not too like third party ish. Like I think 100 is pretty good for competitive. Now you asked me the same question for pubs. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? 100 players is so boring. Like it's completely different environment. And I think, again, Call of Duty needs to understand that there's a difference between competitive and pubs, and they need to adjust accordingly. But all right, I mean, I kind of just wanted to see, boys, would you guys change it to 120? Gramlock, Skull, Gary?
No, I think it's at a really good spot. For pubs, you boost it up to 120, maybe more. But for competitive right now, it's at a good spot because I think 100 is the good number to increase the skill gap for what's happening aside, as you said in Rational, you can drop, you have your landing spot, and then what's happening after, you can regain. So if you boost that up, and if you have 120 players playing for the win because there's money for every fucking placement, it's going to be very crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be even crazier. So 100 players playing to the fullest, I think it's the best place here.
How about you, Skull? Or go ahead, Gary.
No, go ahead.
But I do like 100. I wouldn't mind 120, but I pretty much agree with what everyone's saying right now about the player count.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I think you should stay at 100 for the possibility, only for the possibility that it's an easier way for them to get double the amount of people to a LAN. Because if let's say it's 120, like, I don't know, would they send 240 players out as opposed to just 200, right? Like, I don't know if, to be honest, maybe I'm thinking too far into it, and obviously Activision is a $1 billion company, but they probably have budgets per
It's all
event.
Xbox now.
Yeah,
Brilliant
Xbox.
now.
Yeah, $1 trillion. What were you gonna say, Gary?
Yeah, I don't entirely remember. Something along the lines of like we need to see 120 played out. Like, it would be cool to, like, if there was a trial period and we would be able to test it out, because, like, who knows, maybe it would play out better. But we also had 2 tourneys that actually fill up and stay 100 people. Like you said, like the dojos, Twitter tourneys, whatever it is, people back out. It'll be like 70 to 90 max. Like, you never see 99 ever, or 102 or whatever it is.
Well, it's kind of weird, just because we do have all these tournaments, and like you said, we haven't seen it played out. It's like, why aren't the tools because no one's gonna do it for free. We already know that people aren't gonna like fill a lobby for free. It just doesn't happen. There needs to be money. So that's up to tournament organizers. The player count, that's up to the devs to change it in private, because I don't think you can go up to 120 in private. I think it's still locked at 100 or so. That's on them.
All right. Now, okay.
Like, they have to fix it. Like,
it'll be
both of those things are up to them. The devs have to make it to 120 is in private match, up to 120. Not that even if they don't change pubs, and then a tournament organizer needs to go, here's the money. Let's do it.
I mean, boys, I don't know what season 4 brings. I'm at the point where I'm like, we've been in like the content world for a while, to where it's kind of like I'm just riding the wave right now, because obviously, like, we love everybody in this call loves competitive Warzone, and right now we have the least competitive stuff out with we're kind of in a weird state right now. But I hope season 4 does bring some positive changes. I hope it brings big map ranked, increased player count. Who knows what they're gonna add, right? But is there anything, before we get on to the last topic of the day, is there anything y'all want specifically for season 4?
Ranked.
Big map ranked. Big map ranked.
Ranked, new
New meta.
POIs,
New meta.
different buy stations are terrible right now. I think they purposely made them terrible so they can make them better next season to hype it up.
Yeah.
And the ground loot, everything, like a lot of
Fresh
changes.
stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that's ever changed about the big map since day one is the buy station placements. But the buy station placements in the first season were the best.
Was good. Yeah.
But yeah, now they're bad. They're really
They're
bad.
bad. Yeah.
They gave us ladders. They gave us ladders.
Yeah, 2 ladders in the gulag goes crazy. I can't lie.
Were you gonna say, Skull?
I do think they're gonna open up the bunkers next season, because whenever you pop up,
Mid-season.
That's mid-season, yeah.
oh, that's actually confirmed.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's next
One
week,
bunker
correct?
opened up last season, and then
Next week.
May 1st or May 3rd or whatever the Wednesday is. It'll be bunkers open up across. I think there's 7 bunkers or
next
something that'll
week.
open up.
Next Wednesday.
Nice.
Now, whether or not they have good loot, specialists, is that going to get added to Resurgence?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of hopefully stuff more coming.
Yeah, with the supply
Zombies gets their
UAV.
mid-season update.
Let's go. I'll be going to that. Whenever I pop a supply UAV, I see at least probably five orange chests down there, and maybe a loadout
nice.
chest. So
those 5 orange chests is like $2,000. So it's like,
that's
not letting them anywhere.
Yeah, the gold chests are weak. I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. We again. Do you guys think we get a new meta change by next week, mid-season update? Because, bro, like, we saw what they did last week, and what did they nerf yet last week? They
Renetti?
is it Renetti? Yeah. They did a hot fix for that. Like, and it's like, why is there no hot fix for the Ram? We've had that for
and
2
then
seasons.
they buffed the M16 recoil.
Yeah.
But
Silent buff,
the bigger
too.
problem
Thank
with
God.
that is that they did a silent buff randomly, and then they just told us about it in the notes. So it's like, what are the changes are happening randomly that they're not talking about?
Right.
And it's like, oh, by the way, we changed this. It was like, well, it is what it is.
So like, what's stopping them from doing an HRM nerf like hot fix?
Right.
Like what's the?
And I don't. And to be fair, like it'd be better to buff like the 7 other guns right next to the HRM than to actually nerf the HRM, because they shouldn't have nerfed the RAM 9. The WSP 9. If it had a slight buff, it could be so OD broken, but it'd be penalized because it fires so damn slow. I mean, then the WS or what is it? The MCW conversion kit.
Yeah.
If it allowed you to put on the 60 round mag, make them slow as fuck, but then it could be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can do that'd be fun. That's just close range. That doesn't even count the 7 other weapons we can make long range interesting.
Did they add the stock to the gun yet or no? Did they fix that?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're aware of it though.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm hoping that next week, I really am hoping we get a new meta change next week. It sucks that we all thought, everybody in this call thought season 3 drops and we're about to get new metas. Like we're like, oh, I'm tired. And then it's
Well,
the
we get the
same
new
shit.
gun. Hopefully it's
Bow.
broken.
But boys, let's kind of get into the last topic to kind of conclude the podcast for today. And roster mania and kind of everything going on behind the scenes. I know, boys, if you guys want to talk about anything that y'all know, now's the time. You know, what's good, man? What have y'all been hearing? What have y'all been seeing? Obviously, the big one, the main one right now, the only one that I know of, is obviously Soka and Shifty are no longer together after winning arguably like almost every single tournament they played together. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
I don't think that's true.
It is
Pretty
true.
sure is it?
That doesn't
Oh.
seem real. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you might know more than I do, but I feel
Yeah,
like
maybe.
is Biffle not just playing with Shifty for one tourney and that's it? Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
If
I don't
anybody
know.
would know, it would be Hector. So I mean,
Right.
I guess.
I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna take your
I
word
thought
for
it
it.
wasn't. I thought it wasn't true, but I mean,
Hey,
But
unless
speak.
it doesn't make sense to me. I'll be honest. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean,
it
they're
doesn't.
obviously a really, really good duo. I know Biffle's a great player, but like, it just, when you're winning, why would you? It's like, you know, don't
oh, yeah,
change
why
what-
would you do? Yeah. I mean,
Don't change what's, you know.
unless I'm fucking in a huge like bamboozle, right? But like, they said that ain't no troll. Unless I'm getting fucking baited, right?
You might get baited, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, if that does happen, boys, what's y'all's thoughts?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. But I'm pretty sure. Aren't they playing tomorrow? Or
No, tomorrow's Biffle Shifty and then Jason Soka.
Oh, really? So okay.
Hey, that's okay. Okay, well then never mind. That's already been okay. He said it. I didn't say it. So it's real. It's real. I just I don't know what's out there, what's not. And like, talk to me. What like is that a dumb decision by
It's
Shifty?
stupid. It makes no sense.
So it's stupid.
You
It's
win. You're
stupid.
winning almost every single tournament. Like, what is the point? Like,
I agree.
If
Unless
you're
Shifty's
winning almost
like-
every single tournament, why
Unless
change?
Shifty's just trying to be like prove something to Soka, like I can win without you, or if Soka's trying to say I can win without you, maybe like there might be some kind of thing there where they're just like, yo, I can win without you. But
I mean-
I don't see the point. Like they're both winning so much money. Like why would you break that apart? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. I feel like what happened is that Biffle was like, yo, Shift, play with me because you're my fucking teammate and don't be a bitch. And Shifty's probably like, all right, yes sir, like all right, fine, I'll play with you. And then Soka, he probably told Soka, and Soka's like, all right, I'll go find one. It's probably just like a 1 week thing.
It's probably
Okay.
also not like personal. Like I'm sure Shifty just wants to play with Biffle for a little bit or something. But like again, like if Soka and Shifty both think that like they're the 2 best players, why compete against each other? You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it just seems silly. But
Okay, well, Soka was in the chat and he said he wants to hear Braxton's opinion on this subject. So go ahead,
mean,
Brax.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm just gonna tell you guys the truth. Like, Shifty and Soka in a 2v2 is not losing anybody. Like, they should just play together. It makes no sense. They've proved to win everything. They're the best together. I don't even know why they even split up in customs. That makes no sense to me. They should always play together. They're the best 2 players in the game. They should stay together. I don't know why they split up.
All right, and that now.
I don't
Shifty's in the
know.
chat now. Shifty's in the chat now. They're both in the chat. Boys, do y'all want Shifty, Soka? Y'all want to hop on? Let me know. Let me know. The Discord's there. Y'all post check Discord. Fucking.
He's like,
They're gonna come in just talking riddles. They always do that. It's like, oh my God.
Doka's gonna come in.
20 different quotes and just
Yeah.
riddles.
I was born in the darkness.
I'm Batman.
You were just raised in it.
Just got out of the cave. What's up, boys?
Fucking A. I mean, boys, let's talk about like trios. Like, I mean, Brax, you were no longer with your team from last year, right? Or you're no longer with your trio?
What do you mean from last year?
Well,
What are you
Evan
trying
and
to
DJ.
say?
you're right. You're
From
right.
the start of the year.
Yeah, started.
Okay, yeah. Nah, well, I mean, for right now, I mean, in the Twitter tourneys, yeah, I'm playing with Juju and Prospect.
Okay. And how? Like, have you guys? I mean, I'm assuming. By the way, you worded that. It's you guys haven't decided yet for like, let's say World Series awards gets announced tomorrow. You guys,
I'm playing with him.
you're playing with them?
World Series gets announced tomorrow. I'm playing with them.
Okay. All right. All right.
Side note on that though, obviously, Skull already said that what would happen if it was a Resurgence one, but who else would be changing their teams
Mhm.
based off of that? Like, would you have the same team for big map as small map? And this could be the answer
yeah.
if we have both, anyways.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of people would change. I feel like there's a lot of players out there that aren't as good as Resurgence as they are Big Map, vice versa. But I would keep the same team if it was Resurgence or Big Map. I'm playing with the same team regardless.
Would you guys do the same? I mean, let's say, for example, like Skull, if Brett said I'm down, like fuck it, like would you guys keep the same team or would you switch up?
If he's down, then yeah, keep the same team.
Would anybody here switch their team, or would you guys stay same team?
We've already talked about that too. Like we're just like, yeah, stay together, whether it's Resurgence or Big Map.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, man, I don't know what do you guys, what team guys? I mean, it's kind of hard, not hard to have this conversation, right? But like, what trios right now do you guys think? And of course, you guys can say yourselves. That's fine. But what trios do you guys think are at the top right now for next year? We don't have any knowledge. This is all hypothetical for content, right? But what trios right now, even that haven't been formed, right? Let's say, I don't know, like there's a hypothetical trio. What would be at the top if World Series of Warzone was announced tomorrow? If there was a fucking series tomorrow, like what trios would you guys put together? You guys can include yourself, that's fine, or you guys don't have to include yourselves. But this is more for content and just like speculation, right?
Well, if it's a Resurgence one, you got to get Nixta, Captain. They all got to be on the same team together. You know, they would
Famers.
dominate. They would dominate that.
Lucky Nixta and Capture would go crazy. I can't lie.
Crazy.
Nah, top three trios, in my opinion, from what I've been watching and like seeing, I think probably, I mean, Shifty's team, Shifty, Biffle, Sage. I feel like you can't really count out Soka, Almond, and Noobs. Like I feel like that's just again another good trio. And then
Wait,
probably
Are they still
French as
playing
well.
together?
Yeah, they never play together. What's the story?
Yeah, I
on
don't
that,
even
you
know what that is.
Oh yeah, no, that whole thing's weird. I mean, so like, but I don't count like Twitter tourneys and shit. Like, bro, like it just seems like Shifty and Soka just pubbing, or you know, they're just playing these casual tourneys just to play. Like it doesn't. I mean, I don't know the whole backstory there. I don't know why Noobs isn't playing Twitter tourneys with them, but I don't think it's that serious. I think people are just kind of looking at it like Shifty's gonna play with Soka and Almond for World Series. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
No, I don't either.
The trio is Almond, Soka, and Noobs. Like that's the
You
trio for
actually
World
think
Series.
so?
Yeah, I don't think Shifty's gonna leave Biffle and Sage. I think Shifty would be dumb to leave Biffle and Sage. You guys just won last year, and you're gonna try and go back to back here. I mean, that's legacy shit. Like, why wouldn't you? I honestly, I'd call Shifty a bitch if he left Soka. If he left Biffle and Sage and didn't play World Series with them this year, I'd just be like, dude, you're a bitch.
I would say that the only thing that could change that is if there was a legitimate, realistic mock-up of what a tournament would look like in a custom, and they placed horrifically. Then maybe.
Yeah, we're talking way down the line, but like right now, I mean, if Shift, like I said, if
there's
Shifty
no
was like,
reason
yo, Biffle, Sage, sorry, I'm gonna go play with Soka, I'd be like, dude, bro, you're supposed to be going back to back. You're like, you just won the tournament last year. Like, this is your tournament to defend. You know what I mean? You don't change rosters. Like, you just don't do that. And then it'd be different if they were just horrible, but they just won the 150K. Like,
I'm gonna be honest.
Sense.
I would be, and this is no intel, no nothing. Like, I would be incredibly shocked if Shifty left. Like, I don't think that would.
It's just not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think so. Now, okay, who do y'all think could rival that team? And again, it may, like this, you guys are all competitors, right? So like, I want to know in y'all's opinion. This is good. We have a lot of competitors and shit, right, on the podcast, but like, I want to hear from you guys, from let's say you guys who haven't been on the podcast, like, right, like they're obviously they won last year. They're the team to beat, and they won by 70 something points or some shit like that. So now, who do you guys think can take them? right?
I think the number one team right now in EU is Gromaluk,
100%.
Heeds,
Yeah.
and NKO,
Yeah.
and I think they could easily, not easily, but I think they could contend for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Gromaluk and the French, like him, NKO, and Heeds right now, they're probably the best team in every custom. I'm so serious. NKO's probably the best player.
The best.
Like he's the best.
One of the
Like
best.
I think he's the best in EU by far.
Yep.
100%. No, there's no one close to him in EU. Nobody.
Look, this might look, if I had to put a hypothetical team together, right, to like dethrone them, right? And again, I hope this doesn't start drama. This is all hypothetical, right?
Start some drama, man. Let's get it going.
I'm gonna say, I think, Skull,
Yeah.
Soka, and a role player that's not greedy. That's just my boy. I think Skull is one of the best IGLs in the fucking game, and. I don't know, Scott, and I'm not just saying this because you're here. I'm not just saying this because you're here, but I think you are one of the smartest players I've ever watched, and it has nothing to do with you being here. I've said this before. I think you are incredibly underrated. And so, in my opinion, those two, and then I think, and I know this might surprise some people, but I think the team that could rival them is Adrian to that roster. You add Adrian as the role player, as that young kid that just teach him how to play his life more, and to just get in the mix. Those three could be, in my opinion, would be incredible. But
Yeah.
that's just my.
I said this at the beginning of the year. I said that I like the duo between Soka and Skull was better, in my opinion, than Almond and Noobs. And I said it should have been Soka Skull +1. I said this at the beginning of the year after World Series. And I still think that I think Soka Skull and Almond even like, just another shooter could probably contend and be a top team. But I don't see that happening. Like I said, I think Brett and Joe and Skull is a good trio as well. I don't see Soka going anywhere unless he could pull Shifty or Skull off those teams, and I don't think that's happening. But I think Soka, Skull, and Almond would be also a really, really good roster.
And any other takes, boys? Any other random routes? I mean, Skull's just there smiling and shit.
Yeah, bro, what you giggling at, bro?
I mean,
It's like, what?
I'm gonna speak for like my own team.
Yeah.
But like I think if our team starts winning games or like actually playing more, like we're always top fraggers, always at the top 3 for fraggers, but we just don't always make it to that end zone, and that's like our biggest downfall. But like I don't ever see us, not getting like top 5 in a custom. You know what I mean? So I think if we can just get to that end zone every game, like we can easily, like we know what we need to work on at least, and next big custom we'll see what happens. But it's just like I think if we can actually get to that end zone and start winning games, like we easily can be up there. In like deep for that first place spot.
Yeah. I mean, Skull, what do you? I mean, look, who's your guys' IGL, by the way?
Bread.
Oh no, sorry, Gary. You guys can't see, but he's under me.
Me and Dongy kind of just go back and forth. Dongy will call a lot of stuff, and then sometimes if like I see something he does, then I'll like bounce off that. But we do a good job of like kind of co-IGLing, I guess. And then Scumman just does his thing. He just shoots.
Let that man just point him in the right direction. Let him shoot his fucking gun.
Yeah.
All right, now Skull.
You muted
Hector, you muted. Hector, you muted.
Sorry, my dog muted me. He's under my desk right now. But Skull, talk to me, man, on kind of what's your thoughts on what we said, and just in general, like your team. What you think about your team so far? By the way, top
team
3
so
team.
far.
By the way,
Well, yeah, that sounded like a fun team. Like I played with Adrian back in Verdansk when he was 16, little A.
yeah.
So that'd be a fun team for sure. But Brad and Joe, like even like I think I call it E-base after like a couple of tournaments playing. It's like I love playing with Brad as an IGL. I think like we just click.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I kind of co-IGL with them. So like we're just both calling plays, and it's just like when you have a team, you just know what the other player's thinking. So it's just the comms, movement, placement works so well.
Okay. I mean, I think you guys are a top 3 team. Like you guys are. I've shown it, right? I think there was just one tournament that you guys. Again, it's kind of hard. This is all again content speculation. We're throwing things out. We haven't had that many customs, but like I've from the very beginning, I was like, damn, these guys are gonna be a team to watch out. But like you guys made it every fucking game. Every end game, sorry. You guys would consistently make it. Oh, yeah. Shifty said he misses you, by the way, Skull.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh man. Well, boys, I mean that's kind of just all I wanted to talk about today, man. If anybody has any last minute thoughts, more of just like, I mean, we talked about everything. I feel like World Series of Warzone, Resurgence, just BR, roster mania. I think things are about to hopefully pick up soon, man. I keep saying that, but bro, there's no way things don't get announced within the next month, right? Like, there's no way.
I'd say the next month is definitely probably the timeline of what we'll get something.
When we
I think the highest probable would be towards the end of the season when they're giving us the roadmap / blog about the next season. They're going to probably say, hey, you know what? We're going to get ranked, blah, blah, blah. And whatever we got set up for that in World Series of Warzone.
you think that, say that again? You think that's when?
At the end of this season. So we got like another, at the end of May.
When should we start worrying, boys?
June. If season 4 doesn't come out with
a World Series
ranked
announcement
and a World Series announcement, we should
We're
definitely
cooked.
start worrying.
Shock.
We're cooked.
Yeah, it's shock.
We're cooked.
Yeah, bro. All right, man, boys. Is there any last minute thoughts that you guys any last second things that you guys want to say before we head out for the day?
I'd say that last year World Series was how do you say? It was good. It was very good, and I think that they need to keep the core system. They can adjust some stuff, but we need to have the same system from years on and on. You know, so viewers can like identify like a season, a Warzone season, and because last year was good, and this year we don't even know what we're playing. You know, it could be way easier. Like they need to base themselves off the success that was last year, I think.
Yeah.
And we can just move from that.
I agree. Boys, anybody else? I mean, look, bro, I just like at the end of the day, I've always said this. There's a huge supply and demand, it's supply and demand, right? Like there's a huge demand for Warzone competitive scene with absolutely zero fucking supply right now. Like think about how much of a break we have in between our competitive scene. And now look at Apex as an example of how well they're doing it, right? I hope we can get something like that one day. Is that a year away, 2 years away? I don't know. But look at our numbers from last year, World Series of Warzone, and how good it was. Look at even the EU got people, right? Like even the French, right? Like there's a lot of people who I had no idea who they were. And now because of something like the World Series of Warzone, there are a lot of players that are now in the spotlight. Look at Enkyo, look at Gramcock, like look at all these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I love what Series of Warzone is doing, and I hope one day we can expand from that. Yeah, man, that's kind of my closing thoughts. But anybody else, boys?
Closing thoughts. I think once we do get a World Series announcement, we're gonna do a crazy podcast for roster mania for sure. It's gonna be insane. I think the only free agents right now that like I know of are like I think Blast and Mutex and them split up. So I know Blast is looking for a team. I think DJ Moss is looking for a team. A couple other people, but when that gets announced, roster mania is about to be insane.
Of that. So, Gramlock, sorry, Sage always calls you Gramcock. Yeah, it's just in my brain now.
I know, same.
Skull, talk to me, man. Any closing thoughts, brother?
Big updates for the big map. POIs, ground load, everything. Next season, make it good. I'm fine with this season being Rebirth. Then next season, just big map.
Yep.
Honestly, I love big map, and
We get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, perfect. Big updates. Big
boys,
updates.
I'm gonna. I just know. I think. I know. I feel like you guys know that a lot of the devs watch this, and so I personally will send this to the proper channels to get this to them. Is there anything you guys would like to say if Call of Duty is listening right now, or if they're gonna watch this? I guess that's a better thing. That's a better question to ask. Is there anything you guys want to say?
Yeah, nerf snipers. If you play big map, it's full of snipers. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
And we need new guns. I want to use an AR and sub
gotta
I've
use
never
new stuff.
used, bro. Please.
Yeah.
And like when you nerf the RAM or the HRM, don't just nerf it by 1 damage. Like make it so it's not the meta anymore. Please.
Okay.
I think a meta change should be
Every midseason.
like yeah. Like should be a lot of meta changes. Mix it up.
Like test the guns
New
before
gulag.
releasing.
Still same gulag. Don't know what's going on
No,
there.
we got ladders now.
Oh, we got ladders. Right. My bad. Sorry.
ladders.
Disregard what I said. My bad.
I love that. Gramlock, what about you, man?
No, I think they need to trust the process on competitive Warzone big map, because I think that's the that's the key of Warzone. That's why people play and watch it. So yeah, you need to trust the process, I think, on comp and ranked on big maps.
I agree. I mean,
Yes,
J
sir.
God, any things from you, J God?
I don't think so. I think hopefully they are a little bit more forward about that, and we get some changes soon on the meta at least. Because I don't know, it's stale.
I agree.
So
Well,
stale.
boys, everybody in the call, man. This was honestly a great podcast. It was a last second podcast. As you guys know, it was going to be FIFA in here. And then, so we had to scramble last second. He dropped out. And so we were like, do we cancel? Do we not? And, honestly, having you guys all here, I think was great. And I low key really like having a lot of people on the pod. And I think this was awesome getting a little bit of insight, boys. So look forward to having you guys more if you guys would like to be a part of this. I do really love competitive Call of Duty, and I love what the podcast has done for competitive COD. And so if there's any way we can make even 1%, 2% of a difference, I would love to do it, man. And I would love to not just be me and Ebates, J-God, but to have the whole community involved. So, boys, every single one of y'all, Gramlock, fucking Gary, Skull, Brax, thank you guys, bro, for hopping on last second. And I appreciate y'all being here, man. For real.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure.
Cool.
Thank you.
Of course, man. Well, everybody
us.
at fucking YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're watching. We're on Apple now, which is cool. Apple Music. But anyways, appreciate y'all being here, listening, watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one, baby. Peace.